Title: Echoes of Lost Sanity. The rust crunched beneath my boots as I passed through the imposing wrought iron gate. Crestwood Asylum stood before me, a mass of gray stone, eaten away by time and desolation. The empty windows were dark sockets that seemed to observe my every move, as if the building itself were aware of my intrusion. I had heard the stories, of course. Urban legends that circulated among reckless youths and amateur ghost hunters. It was said that the souls of former patients still wandered the halls, trapped in an eternal loop of madness and suffering. Strange noises, fleeting apparitions, blood-chilling whispers. All contributed to Crestwood's legend as a cursed place. But I was not a believer. I was a skeptic, a journalist in search of the truth. I needed a shocking story, something that would catapult my career. And Crestwood, with its aura of mystery and darkness, seemed like the perfect place to find it. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the moan of the wind that filtered through the broken windows. The air was heavy with a rancid smell, a nauseating mixture of dampness, dust, and something else. Something that reminded me of disinfectant and decaying flesh. My flashlight slashed through the darkness as I made my way through the main lobby. The remains of an elegant reception desk lay scattered on the floor, as if they had been torn apart by an invisible force. On the walls, one could still see the faded remains of what were once cheerful murals, now defaced by graffiti and damp stains. As I ventured deeper into the labyrinth of corridors, the temperature dropped drastically. A chill ran down my spine, and the feeling of being watched intensified. Every shadow seemed to move, every whisper of the wind sounded like a distant voice. In one of the rooms, I found a rusty iron bed, with worn leather straps attached to the ends. On the wall, someone had written in blood a phrase that chilled me to the bone. "We are not alone." I continued exploring, driven by a mixture of curiosity and fear. I found padded cells with scratched walls, therapy rooms with instruments of medical torture, and a desecrated chapel with an overturned altar. Each place told a story of suffering and despair. Suddenly, I heard a sound. A faint wail, which seemed to come from the deepest part of the building. I stopped, holding my breath, trying to discern its origin. The wail repeated, this time louder, clearer. It was a female voice, full of anguish and pain. I followed the sound, venturing into a dark and narrow corridor. The wail led me to a steel door, with a small peephole covered in rust. Cautiously, I cleared the peephole and looked through it. What I saw on the other side took my breath away. Inside the cell, a woman was sitting on the floor, rocking gently back and forth. Her hair was long and matted, her face emaciated, and her sunken eyes were filled with infinite sadness. She wore a white nightgown, stained with blood and dirt. She observed me through the peephole, and a sickly smile formed on her lips. Finally, "Someone who can see me," she whispered in a hoarse, trembling voice. "I've been waiting so long. I need help to escape this place." My heart was pounding in my chest. I knew I had to get away, that what I was seeing was not real. But the plea in her voice was so convincing, so heartbreaking, that I couldn't help but feel compassion for her. "Who are you?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. "My name is Eliza," she replied. "And I've been trapped here for many years. They locked me up here, they tortured me, they stole my sanity. But now you can help me escape." "Escape? From what?" I asked, feeling myself venturing into dangerous territory. "From them," said Eliza, her voice filled with fear. "From the shadows. From the doctors. From the demons that lurk in this place." I fell silent, trying to process what I was hearing. It was madness, I knew it. But the oppressive atmosphere of the asylum, the palpable presence of death and despair, were affecting me. "How can I help you?" I asked finally, feeling that my words were being spoken by someone else. Eliza smiled, a smile that didn't convey joy, but rather a sense of triumph. "It's very simple," she said. "You just have to open the door." I hesitated for a moment. I knew it was a trap, that opening that door would be a terrible mistake. But Eliza's pleading gaze, the promise of freeing her from her suffering, compelled me to act. I fumbled for the key in my pocket, inserted it into the lock, and turned it. The door opened with a metallic screech, revealing Eliza's emaciated figure. "Thank you," she said, her voice now filled with a chilling joy. "Thank you for freeing me." She took a step towards me, and then I saw them. Behind her, in the darkness of the cell, I could glimpse other figures. Shapeless shadows, glowing eyes, faces distorted by madness. They were the other patients, the lost souls of Crestwood. I realized my mistake too late. I had opened the door to hell, releasing the creatures that lurked within. Eliza lunged at me, her bony hands grasping at my neck. Her nails dug into my flesh, and I felt life draining from me. "Let's escape together," she whispered in my ear, her breath reeking of death and madness. And then, darkness enveloped me completely. I never left Crestwood Asylum. My story remained unfinished, my search for the truth became my doom. Now I am one more of the ghosts that wander its halls, trapped in an eternal loop of madness and suffering. And if you ever find yourself near Crestwood, listen carefully. Perhaps you will hear my voice, begging you to help me escape. But remember, sometimes, freedom comes at too high a price.